What's good, y'all? Thanks for coming through. Today, we're going to talk about coding software and some of the best choices you can make to get you guys up and running so that you can start writing a couple lines of Python. Okay, so today we're going to talk about IDE'S, Integrated Development Environments. So we're going to focus on one IDE today. There are many others out there, but we're going to specifically focus on Pycharm. So IDE'S is software for building applications. It combines common developer tools such as syntax highlighting, auto-completion, debugger tools, and version control systems. There are IDEs such as VS Code and Pycharm, as I had mentioned, and JETBRAINS also offers many other applications for other coding languages. Okay, so why Pycharm? Pycharm is specifically developed for Python, and it's going to be easy to get you guys up and running really quick because all the tools in this piece of software are specifically for Python again. And there's some other variables too that come with coding where you have to set up what you call your environment, and there's a lot of setup process, and Pycharm does all this for you. So all you really have to do is install the application, open it up, and then you can start doing a project right away. Some examples of IDEs is Microsoft VS Code, Sublime Text, Vim, Notepad++, Atom, Xcode, and Pycharm that is developed by JETBRAINS, who offers many other packages and other coding languages. Let's go to a website called JETBRAINS. We're going to go to Google JETBRAINS and we'll click on the first one here. And JETBRAINS is a company that develops tools for developers. So we're going to look for one called Pycharm. So if we go here to Pycharm, that's what we'll go to, and we can click on the download button, and you will see two versions. So there's the professional version, and then there's also the community version. The community version is actually free, and it's all you need to get started. So don't even worry about the professional. So we'll download it, and once it's downloaded, just follow the steps to install the software. And so I actually already have it installed, of course, and so I'm going to fire it up. So once you get to that step, once it's installed, just open the application, and what you might notice is that it may open differently from mine. It may start with the welcome screen, or it may ask you to set up a couple things, but they're pretty straightforward. So, you know, as you can see here, I got a couple projects here, but you know, we're not going to open those. We're going to start a new project. So once you've walked through a couple steps to set up yours, then we're going to start a new project. So I'm going to click on new project here, type in something simple, my first Python project. And I'm going to keep all the settings as is. New environment using virtual environment. We're going to keep that. Location, just going to go with the default and just hit create. So this is the beauty of Pycharm, because it's creating all this stuff for you. Usually something like VS Code, you would have to do a lot of setup yourself manually, but Pycharm does all this for you so that you can jump right in. And so it starts off with a default file. And if we just right click here and hit run file in console, actually we're going to go over here to the play button, hit this play button. We've just ran our first line of code. So that's pretty simple, right? So because it's already open with a file that has a couple lines of code. Just to give you guys a quick overview, this up here is called the function. Inside this function, we have a simple print statement that's being called, and then here is executing it all. And so if we hit the play button, we're executing the line of code. And we can also just right click and select run main, same thing as the button up there. Okay, so next thing, your software might look a little different from mine, the colors. So this is a cool thing to play with too, just to have a little fun. A simple shortcut within this software is pressing shift twice. So if you press shift twice, this brings up a search bar. and we can search up a lot of different things. So one thing that I like to always turn on is wrapping my text. Sometimes the text can run off the screen, and if I search up something called soft wrap, I can turn that on. So I usually like to turn that on when I start to have text run all the way across. Let's see if it'll show up like this. Yeah, see, now this text is wrapping. So if I press shift twice again, turn it off, so now it's running off, and then shift again, soft wrap is on. Okay, so now let's go to the themes. So we'll press shift again, and we're gonna search up theme. So here's theme. I'm gonna select that, and then as you can see, I have a lot of themes set up already. If I hover over them, it's automatically switching through themes. This groove box one is really cool. Obviously I like a lot of dark themes. The light stuff is too much, it's too bright for my eyes. But anyhow, we can go down here to install theme, and we can search up different themes. So the theme that I really like to use is a popular one called Monokai. So this is the one I actually use when it opened by default. So I'm actually going to switch back to that. But anyway, you can hit the install button and install any kind of theme you want. So you can search all through here, maybe search up theme, and then look through all the different themes, and it gives you different examples over here. So there's the groove box again. We got Xcode, which is made by Mac and Apple. So yeah, install your theme, find some colors that you like, play with it a little bit, and you can get started with some different colors that works for you. So I'm gonna hit cancel. I'm gonna switch back to my original theme. Just some quick little things when it comes to this IDE. You see these numbers here? This just tells you what line of code you're on, just to keep track of things. These things you can mark, you know, different places. Here's the project tab where it shows your project. You can open and close this. Down here is some other things such as your console, terminal. You can actually have a to-do list down here too. It also shows packages that have been installed. We'll get into that later. Again, this is the console. This is the terminal. The terminal is similar to like the command line, like this. So we're actually using this within the software, which is pretty cool. So we don't have to ever leave the software. Obviously, like any other software, we have file edit. Lots of options up here. There's a lot of things that we'll get into later. And again, you can read the documentation for yourself. This is a good software overall. Lastly, simple. If we want to save a project, our files here. So this is called main.py. Going back to this project window, this is the main.py. Let's say if you wanted to make a new Python file, so I always right click myself, new file, and I'll just name it new file. And then we want to give it the extension also. It's not going to just create a Python file by itself. So we always want to give it a extension. So we have to put the dot, and then py is the Python extension. So this will make a new Python extension. So here's an example of a line of code you can do. So you can type in print, and then in parentheses, hello world. And then we can hit run up here. Now this is confusing because it says hi Pycharm, but it doesn't say hello. It doesn't say hello world down here. So how do we fix that? So if we go back over to the play button, you can see here that it is still calling this file over here, main. So one solution that we could do, we can go with the current file. So now it's on the current file, and it'll now say hello world. Another solution, if it's sitting here on main, we could say right click, run new file, and now it'll run hello world also. That'll happen sometimes. You'll be confused. That's what's happening. It's just calling the file that's highlighted up here. So here's the other thing about the project folder. So we can actually have multiple files in here. So let's say if I wanted just a simple like notepad file, which is a txt extension. So I can just say notes.txt, and then now I've created a new file, and then this is not going to act like a Python file. It's going to act like just regular text. So if I needed to take notes 1, notes 2, starting our first IDE. All right, I've installed. So you can see it just works like a regular notepad file. So you can store a lot of different things in here without leaving your IDE. You can also open images in here, which is cool too. And then just to show you guys the difference too, you know, if I type down here, the text actually looks a lot different. So creating my first Python file, right? And you didn't see all that stuff popping up as I was typing in here, right? So if I type the same thing, creating my first Python file, nothing is popping up. So the reason that stuff is popping up is because I had mentioned auto completion. Pycharm provides something called auto completion. So as we typed print hello world, if I typed it again, it's going to offer some suggestions. So this is a great benefit as we start to get deeper and deeper into a lot of coding, because we're not remembering a lot of things again. You know, we want to learn code structure. You know, I could select this suggestion or press enter actually, and it'll auto complete it for me. And then I can proceed to type in hello world, and then I got something done. And then it also gives you little descriptions here. You may not know what this stuff means, but it also gives you little descriptions as you start typing to help you complete things. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, again, you guys can save your file. It auto saves, so you can just close out and you're done, exit, boom, you know, and you're done. And usually when you open the software again, you'll see that it opens with the last file that you were working on. So as you see, it's opening, and it opened with the last thing that we were working on, and nothing was lost. It's a great software. So I encourage you guys to try Pycharm. There are many other applications out there. Again, I bounce between Pycharm and VS Code. Those are my two go-tos. And Pycharm, again, is a very good application to start off with because it can get you up and running really quick. If you're going to go into VS Code, there is a little bit of setup that you have to do. And then there's some other prerequisites that you need to learn also to get it up and running properly with Python. Have you guys ever heard of Pycharm before? Have you ever used it? If so, let me know in the comments below. Let's have a conversation. Let me know your experience once you guys installed it, and your themes. You know, we also talked about setting up our themes so that we have certain colors. You know, let me know what your guys' favorite is. Again, you guys can go on the website, learn more about the software package, and read the documentation if you have deep questions, but you can also ask me too.